We're live. Welcome, everybody. We are live. This is Niki with Homeschool Knockouts, and we are live. I'm just trying to have a slightly different setup here. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Oh, my goodness. Happy Friday. I'm dropping stuff. Oh, I can't find it now. It is what it is. Are you guys ready for today's talk? As you guys come on in, you know how we used to do. Let us know where in the world you are coming from. I don't care if your point of entry is the Pleiades, is Saturn, it's a whole nother galaxy on the other side of the universe, or if it's just California. Wherever you are, if you're comfortable, let us know. And I ask that because a lot of times you can start finding people in your city, in your state, and you can start building your tribe. My laptop feels a little low. Let me lift it up. I need a book to lift this up so I can really see y'all. All right. So today's homeschool topic, as you guys come on in. Hey, Steph from Texas. Chris 1.5 says, is there any online schools for middle schoolers? Oh, Chris, there are so many schools. We can talk about that later in the AMA. After our topic, I'll take all your general questions about homeschooling. Anya from my neck of the woods. Excuse me there. Hey, Katesh from Ohio. Hold on. I was about to pull something up. I forgot what I was going to pull up. Hey, math tutor from Michigan. I think I just saw you over on IG. Who else do we have? Esther from Kauai. I was just about to do something, guys. I forgot what I was about to do because I have the memory of a gnat. What was I about to do? I was talking about your neck of the woods. Oh, I forgot. Maybe it'll come back to me. Also, okay, so as I get going with my spiel with the topic, be thinking of your wins, okay? Because I really want to start taking that seriously. And I'm thinking in the future, I might be gifting some things to those who are brave enough to come on live, like share the screen. And I'm not going to bite or anything. And then you come on live, like the screen will be split. It'll be me on one side, you on the other. Or you can just not show yourself and just have like an image of, of a snake or something like that. But you don't have to have your face showing if you don't want to, but so long as we hear your voice, and then you can share your win or testimonial. And I think what I'll do just to kind of entice you guys is to like make some special freebies for you, or maybe some other things that I can give out just to get you comfortable sharing your homeschool journey with everybody. So I'm going to think that over and see how that goes. All right, so we got more people coming in. Excellent. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, and I gave it a couple of different titles across my platforms from IG to YouTube, and I think even on Facebook. And the gist of what we're talking about is, oh, I know what I was supposed to do. Put the banner up. Okay, here we go. There's the banner. Finishing strong with your homeschool year. Now, I know there are some of you who homeschool year round. That was me back 200 years ago. I don't do that anymore. But even if you do homeschool year round, I know that you do take breaks, right? So when you decide when your largest break is going to be, you can consider you're in the home stretch, okay? Now, for most people who do follow a traditional school calendar, usually June, you're probably wrapping up with your homeschool, or at least you're toward the end of the materials that you're using. You're getting close to that if you start typically like in August or September, okay? Now, with that said, we want to talk about how to finish strong. Now that you're in the home stretch, whether this is your first time homeschooling, your 20th year homeschooling, all parents feel the same because you're teachers, you're educators, you feel kind of the same feeling of, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Is it time yet? If you worked, in the workforce, the clock, you're looking at the clock, or we got the time, the puncher, you're a factory worker, you're like eyeballing, so you can just, dip your time card into the machine and clock out. A lot of us are wanting to clock out. And the reason why we do want to clock out is it's doggone homeschool burnout. We're just going to keep it real. We're going to keep it real. Hold on, y'all. I had that coughing spell last week. Let me get my little sip of my apple cider vinegar with lemon, a little bit of honey, and some cayenne pepper. Let me just take a little sip. Okay. Oh, that's strong. I was a little heavy on the cayenne pepper, but I can handle it. Okay, so let me get back into some of these comments. Okay. Oh, look at y'all. Anya is stepping up immediately. We got a win, y'all. Let's read. Anya says, my win this week. My son finished his state testing we need for his homeschool charter. Boom. That is huge. Because no matter what your views on testing is, it's always good to be able, my whole philosophy is always try something that you might not agree with, so you have that experience, so you can talk on it intelligently. And also, you want to try things to test how your child does. Sometimes in the homeschool community, we're in a bubble, and we try to find people who are like-minded. Oh, same kind of homeschool style, same kind of religious background, same kind of culture. And a lot of times we get in those bubbles and we don't really know what reality is outside of that bubble. What does that have to do with testing, Nick? Whole point is, with testing, just having your child sit down for 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour, what have you, or longer, and being able to do something that's on a computer screen and complete it and be done is actually pretty huge, okay? Because most kids, 99.999% of kids don't like to test, right? So them being able to do something that they might not want to do, right, is a win. And then doing something that is judging you, right? Because that's what testing is. It is judging how you are that day, that moment in time. And so going into that, with that thought point in mind, maybe the kids don't think that, but maybe you do as a parent. And then also for you as a parent, you're feeling judged, possibly like, okay, how's my child doing? If they do poorly, is that a reflection on me as a teacher? If they do great, is that a reflection of me as a teacher? So it opens up a whole bunch of questions. So that's why I know a number of people, they won't test because they don't really want to know like what's really going on. Okay. Even if it's like something that's, maybe not, it's just one day and one time, right? So being able to do that, I think that's a great win. Also, one thing with homeschooling, sometimes is we forget, or it's hard to remember to bring in rituals, things that signal the ending of something and the beginning of something. When you're in regular school, traditional school, the bell means start of class to end of class. Okay, that's a ritual. Pavlov. Some people might say Pavlov, but when the weather starts getting cooler, you start, doing things with pumpkins, or you start reading maybe books about weather, or just you read books related to that season, or you do things that signal that a change is happening. Okay, these are rituals that humans have just innately, right? And being able to incorporate some rituals into your homeschool, I think is fantastic. Now, one thing that I would do, Anya, after doing state testing, because with state testing, sometimes it's a couple of days of testing, and it could be a long day too. And I don't know the age of your child, but having something to celebrate the end of testing, okay? That helps to, especially if you and your child are feeling burnt out, it helps if you're winding down and maybe you're like, all right, y'all want to read, y'all go ahead and read. You want to go ahead and do long division, go do long division. You know how y'all get when y'all just really tired. You hope your kids are doing the work, but you're not really checking to see if they're doing the work. I know, I done been there. So having something, as a matter of fact, I got my notes so I can be accurate. So planning things around a ritual or something that is constant in your homeschool is great. And Anya, actually, I'm so happy for your comment because that is a great launching pad for what I want to talk about. Yes, everybody give Anya a congratulations because that is huge. Happy Friday from Georgia. Hey, DIY homeschool. Let's see. Esther's got a win. And I'm going to get back to how we fit in those rituals. Actually, that needs to be a whole. I never come here with my pens. I have like 20 pens. Oh, here they go. Oh, here's my top. Okay. Y'all know I'm all over the place, but I am going to get more organized. I got a surprise for y'all too. Wait, what did I say? Rituals. Yeah. Okay. I need to do a video on rituals. Here we go. I got my list. Homeschool rituals. Man, we've been having sirens for the last 2 days. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on around here? All right, let's read Esther's win. My win is that we saved up enough for the class I was hoping to start in the fall, continuing education. That is beautiful. You guys put some hand claps or 100s in the chat. Yes. Okay, so listen. So Esther, so I'm assuming you're saying continuing education. So I'm assuming this class is for you. But if not, and it's for your child, that's fine as well. But y'all, listen, these online classes or just additional classes, a lot of times, they don't be cheap. And even if they are kind of cheap, just the way the economy is, it's still a grip, money that can be used for definitely something else. So being able to have the dedication to put money aside, be consistent with it, and to have a goal, and then to realize that is huge. As a matter of fact, Esther, you were probably doing something from Atomic Habits that led you to be able to accomplish this goal. So I'm excited to see or hear about your class in the fall. That is huge. Yes. All right. So let's get to the home stretch, okay? Now, what does the home stretch look like? And it's going to look different for a lot of people. Okay? Depending on what kind of homeschooler you are. If you're relaxed and an unschooler, there might not be that much differentiation between when you're homeschooling and then when you're on break. If you're dyed in the wool classical homeschooler, it might look definitely different from what you do in the homeschool versus your break, right? So those are just some things I'm just throwing out there. If you're an OCD mom, homeschool is going to look different as you're winding down to the end. Okay. So I can't cover everybody's family lifestyle, teaching style, personalities, but here are some key components to keep in mind as you're coming into the home stretch. Number one, don't worry about new curriculum. I know this is the season for homeschool conventions. All the catalogs are coming in, all that juicy stuff. I wouldn't even touch it. You will have time to buy it and get it in time. Unless you're going through Rainbow Resource, they take forever getting out their materials to you. So there's something that you have to have, and only rainbowresource.com has it. Maybe order it now because they take forever to mail out their stuff. But for everything else, put that stuff aside. It's not the end of the world. You will be able to find your resources and your learning materials. Right now, you want to focus on the here and now. But let's be honest. Say you got, what is this, April? April's tomorrow. So April and May. Say you kind of wrap up your homeschool, like in June, beginning of June, first, second week of June, right? Now, you have a science textbook that y'all started in August last year, And there are 12 chapters in that textbook. How many chapters have you really done? 4, 3, 8. Y'all, let's be real. And a lot of these suggestions I'm giving are based off of my life. I know I struggle with science. You didn't really dive into the book the way you really wanted to. Maybe you didn't do any of the experiments except for the first or second week, and then you were just tapped out or whatever. Um, Now is the time to grab that textbook, okay? And I say science because usually it involves, a lot of stuff, if especially if it has labs to it, but it could be anything that might be in intensive where you have to like do stuff, put things together, which is probably why you didn't really use the materials in the first place. So let's take that. Let's start with that. You got stuff that you ain't really touched. Pull that bad boy out. Pull out that textbook. Look through it. Find 3 things, say 3 experiments or 3 lessons that are really interesting that you would really like to finish. Now, it's going to be different from math. It's going to be a different animal because things build upon each other. But when you're looking at your social sciences or regular sciences, this is perfect to do. Okay. Or even literature. Pick out the 3 most interesting things. Now, they can be the most interesting things for you to teach or the most interesting things that your child is interested in learning. Hopefully, it's both you and the child. And then between now and June, you got how many weeks is that? You got 4 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks in April and then 4 weeks in May. So that's 8 weeks. Okay. Now, if you haven't had spring break yet, that's fine because that's a week because you got 8 weeks until the end of school, right? That's 8 weeks to play with. So you take out a week for spring break, right? Maybe take out a week where you have days where you have things going on, so you're not going to touch that subject. That might add up in 2 months into a week. So maybe take 2 weeks out. So now you're left with 6 weeks to get things done before homeschool ends. So take that little science textbook, find 3 experiments that you guys would like to do, get those materials, and you do those experiments once a week, however you want to do it. Okay, y'all, between now and June 5th, no, June 6th, that's Prince's birthday, June 6th. So between now and June 6th, we're gonna do our science experiments on Fridays at 2 o'clock. And these are the 3. Are these cool? Y'all want to do these 3 experiments? Cool. Let's go make a list of all the ingredients, all the materials, everything we need. And it's gonna go in this box by the kitchen, and it's gonna be ready for us when we do the experiments. Okay. You want to finish strong. Now, you're not going to finish everything, but you still want to finish strong. And also, you want to have that lasting memory at the end of the school year of, you know what, it was kind of rocky throughout the year, but we finished strong. You always want to say that, whether you're in sports, yeah, we got beat by 20 points, but we finished strong because we were down by 60 points and then we came back, right? You want to finish strong because that's going to play a big role on your psyche as you decompress and then go into your new school year. So you want to finish strong. And however you got to Jedi mind trick yourself, that's what you do. Now, say you got math and you're like, girl, I don't even want to look. I don't want to know. I don't want the truth. I want to bury my head in the sand. We did not do well in math, okay? So this is what you want to do. Depending on the grade level of your child and what your plans are for the fall, you want to look at what are they struggling with. Girl, I don't even know. I hadn't really been paying attention. Or, my child struggles with everything. Okay, well, let's just do a hypothetical. So your child, let's say 4th grade going into 5th grade, because the math starts to ramp up. You got decimals, ratios, fractions, all of that, right? That's where kids start to crumble. That's where the first pothole, the deep pothole emerges. You get on Khan Academy because it's free. And I told this story before. Y'all didn't listen, but I did this experiment. I think maybe 5 years ago. There was a man in Southern California, and he took 6th graders. Some of y'all, my veterans, y'all know what I'm talking about. He took his 6th graders who were failing every state test, state testing in math. And in one school year, he turned them around and they were excelling. And he was doing it consistently. And then the administrators were like, okay, what's going on? And he was like, I'm just using Khan. They start at kindergarten and they go all the way up to 6, and some even go beyond that. And they're like, well, how do you do that? Now, he had his little curriculum out there, but it kind of got disappeared because it's successful, right? But I do remember vaguely how he did it because I took screenshots on it. But okay, here's the thing, y'all. And it don't make no sense why hold on, I'm about to show y'all some real life. Okay. I got about 36,000 pictures. So I'm gonna go through the pictures because I took screenshots of what he did. It's just so much. But in my mind, I remember he had them. It was based on what grade level they were at the time. So kindergarten, first grade, they were zooming through it in like a week. They did a whole year in a week or two, in a week or so. And then by the time they hit third grade, it's when they took a little bit longer. And then he found the end of the second semester, third grade, beginning of the semester for fourth grade was when most kids had their issues. That's when the foundation was broken. And because it was broken, they always kept messing up each year, right? So he had them spend, like the second time he did this program, he had them really stay on like third and fourth grade for like weeks, right? And then because their foundation was so solid, by the time they got into fifth, boom, the wheel in the mud was starting to turn a little bit faster. So oh, hold on, y'all. Let me catch up on these comments. Okay. Okay, all the claps for Esther for saving. Okay, Esther says, that's right. It's in preparation for teaching my son and our community through high school. Beautiful. I love that. I'm always in love with people who always want to keep learning. I love that. Hats off to you, my dear. Yes, everyone's congratulating you. Okay, Math says, I love how you are getting involved in your son's education. That is the greatest gift that our kids. Wait, I didn't. Oh, my gray hair right here. I thought I covered it up. That is one of the greatest gifts you can give your kids, is for you to devote your extra time to helping them with their education. So always, that's a salute right there. My teen graduates this year. I'm so proud. Is this from elementary school, middle school, or high school? Shelly from the block. She says teen, so maybe going to 9th grade or graduating high school. Either way, that is huge. That is a huge one, my dear. Congratulations. Yes, liked and shared. Thank you. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm really behind on these comments. Let's see. Love Katesh says, the math is kind of me and my 6th grade daughter. She's not bad at math, just lacks confidence. And let me get to that, what that confidence is, because y'all know, hold on, where's she at? Y'all know who I'm going to pull out. The people who are my old school. Where my book at? Hold on. Yeah, I'm looking for my Marva Collins, because she hit the nail on the head. Where are my Marva Collins books? I must have pulled them out to do something. Are they down there? Oh, here they are. All right, Marva Collins. Okay. Remember, we're talking about burnout and the home stretch. Marva didn't play that. Marva was tired too. She had to worry about bills and mortgaging her house to run the schools and everything. Y'all watched the movie Marva Collins, The Story. It's on YouTube and it's free. This sister right here. Okay, we're gonna have another video where we talk about this. But let me tell you, Katesh, and I'm gonna get back to you about the confidence. The confidence, that's probably one of the easiest things you can fix. One of the fastest things you can fix. We're going to talk about that. Y'all hold me to it. I'm going to hold the book right here so I don't forget that we're going to talk about the confidence. All right. Yes, being consistent is key, math tutor Tiff. That's here, consistency. And we get confused. We think consistency has to be doing 1,000%, going over and beyond, moving mountains, reinventing the wheel. No, it don't. It's 1%. And James Clear's got the evidence to prove that it's 1% a day. You can't even see 1%. That's how small it is. But it's forward motion. It really is. Okay, let me catch up to some of these. Let's see. Practicing daily really helps, Katesh. Yes, yes, yes. I like Khan Math for those days where I'm stretched too thin. We use dimensions, but it is teacher intensive, and it's great to let him work independently on Khan sometimes. Absolutely. Now, Khan, if y'all haven't been on Khan, they have so many different sections. They have literature, they have science, they have computer science, quantum stuff. They have a lot of stuff. It has come a long way from like what 12 plus years ago. It really has. But I'm going to tell you about the confidence, and then what some of the other viewers have said about consistency, and using that to help get you back on track. Let's see. Math tutor says start with simple math to help build the confidence. Yep. Okay, high school. Oh, your baby graduated from high school. Oh my gosh. Y'all, that is huge. Because that's just not a graduation from high school. That's graduation from life skills, right? Because now your child is a young adult and can do things as a young adult without needing you. Well, they always gonna need us. So that's huge. I mean, you're not just looking at, okay, I got my baby to graduate high school, but I got my baby to be this young person standing in front of me. So it's a lot of emotions there, I'm sure. I'm not there yet. I got 2 more years before I have my first graduate. But congratulations on that. Yes, 12, we did it. Absolutely. Con Math is a great tool. But I can't stress enough consistency. Yes, absolutely. And that was the thing that the teacher was doing with Khan Academy when he brought those test scores up. And you'll find, like, when I taught English in Japan. Hold on, let me catch up to these comments, and then we got Japan and this. Math tutor says, I was so proud. Oh, wait, hey, do we have another win? I was so proud of how my baby girl went in New York City, 990 hours. She goes over every year. Wait, hold on, I'm reading 2 different comments. Wait. True. I was so proud of how my baby girl went in. We're in New York City, 990 hours. She goes over every year. Beautiful. That's a testament to you, my dear. Yes, that's right. 1%. 1%. Okay, I'm almost caught up on the comments. Yes, we are so excited. She is type 1, so she is very intelligent on all levels. We needed this time. Beautiful. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. And you give your baby girl a hug and a kiss and a high five, because people are watching and we're all rooting for her success. Now, consistency, and Math tutor Tiff brought this up. Consistency. Now, when I taught English in Japan, the one thing I noticed, and they are very serious about this, is that 1%. But they didn't call it 1%. They just called it, you do this, you do A at this time and this day for this long. 4 things. They keep it real simple. You do math at 3 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 1 hour, or whatever, plug in your variables. And you don't deviate from that. You work things around those 4 concepts, right? That's how you build in the consistency, and you build in that muscle memory. And now your body will adjust internally to, okay, that time is coming. Just like when it's kind of bedtime for you, your body starts to just kind of shut down just gradually. And now you're not telling your body to shut down, but your body is just slowly adjusting because they know it's that time. Okay. Same thing when you set aside a day, a time, and a length of time to do something. Eventually, your body expects that to happen, and it will adjust. Like Neo in the Matrix, when Morpheus says, no, Neo's like, I can't bend the spoon. I can't bend the spoon. And then Morpheus is like, Neo, you bend around the spoon. Or however he said it. So you sit here trying to bend the spoon, like, with your mind, like, it's not moving. And they're like, no, you got to do all this for the movement. So when you're sitting down trying to make these 1% changes, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this on Monday. Wednesday, I'm gonna do this. You're trying to like bend the spoon with your mind when your whole body, your environment has to move in alignment around that one object, which in this case is doing better in math. So this is what he did. So the guy in Southern California, so what he did, third and fourth grade, and he wrote up this beautiful report showing how teachers in second and third grade were not really stepping up with the core foundations in math, right? Or they didn't have enough time, because that was when Common Core was coming in around 2011. And so with Common Core, things were just moving exponentially fast. So you didn't have, like, say, 6 weeks to work on fractions. You didn't have 6 weeks to work on division, adding division, division with adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing. You didn't have all that time. So it wasn't really the teacher's fault. It was, that program that came in that replaced No Child Left Behind, that replaced Goals 2000, right? Every 10, 15 years, there's always a new program introduced into the school. So he was like, this Common Core ain't gonna work. These kids need like 6 weeks on stuff, which is not going to happen in second and third grade. So he was like, I can't depend on the second and third grade teachers, right? Not the teachers, but just their hands are tied. So what I'm going to do, because our school is a failing school, they're kind of on our backs, but they're not on our backs because they have no expectations for the kids at all. So they're not coming into your classroom, seeing how you're teaching. So they really leave you alone. In a way, it was a blessing, because the teacher would just be like, all right, guys, con. Never even touched the textbooks, because the kids couldn't even do the first chapter in the textbook. That's how behind they were. So on Khan, and remember back then, Khan didn't have all the reporting and reports and stats that it has now. So now you have so much to work with. But back then, it was just going through each topic in each unit and then seeing how long it took that child to power through what the potholes were. And then he started, when he took a bigger snapshot and looked at the whole class, he saw, okay, this is where they start tripping with long division. Okay, a lot of times it was math vocabulary. They didn't know dividend from a divisor, right? They didn't even know how to set things up properly. So, and these are things that you just do every day. You don't have to, there's no deep thought into it. It's just structure. It's a formula. This is how you do it. You just plug it in. It's always the same. And so those foundations doesn't require all this algebraic thinking and processing. It's basic structure, just plug and play, basically. And so once they got confident in the setup with the vocabulary, that was like 50% of the battle right there. Because now they understood what they were reading, and they understood how to set up a math problem correctly. Now you would think that's so easy. Okay? A lot of times we look for some hard odyssey type of thing to overcome. And a lot of times it's something as simple as, can you close the tube on the lipstick all the way so bacteria don't get into it? Don't do this because you're in a rush. Just do this and avoid infections. It's real, a lot of stuff is just real easy. Okay. And then it's just doing it over, is repetition, over and over and over again. So was that you, Anya, or Katesh? No, Katesh with the sixth grade. So the confidence. So with Marva. So Marva kind of did the same thing, but she did it with all subjects. She took kids with learning disabilities, behavior problems, all kinds of drama. And at the end of the year, when they tested, they were testing 3, 4, 5 grade levels above. Now, how can she get those kids from rock bottom to the height of the mountain in 9 months? It was her confidence, because once they realized they could do it, then they wanted to do it. So they put that time in. So actually, this is her first book, is the Marva Collins Way. It's kind of pink, at least my version is. But then she has this for parents, for the family, how to instill these life skills into your children so those skills will transcend into the classroom. And then this one gives you a little bit more hands-on stuff to help with your kids. So like she'll give you like how to begin a lesson. You know what? We need to do a Marva Collins book, not a review, but break it down. We need to have a Marva Collins day. That woman changed my homeschool perspective. Marva Collins book breakdown. Look, now you know Prince, you know my favorite artist in the whole wide world. Now his song was called "The Most Beautiful Girl in the World," and in this song, in this video, it's a very simple video. He showed all of these women. Some of them are pretty, some of them looked okay, some old, short, big, skinny, all kinds of women. And at the very end, he showed Marva Collins. Now, the song came out, I want to say early 90s, because he was with Maite by then. So early 90s. I had no idea who Marva Collins was. I was all into the pretty girls in the video. I'm like, is he messing with her? He's supposed to be with Maite. But years later, I realized someone had said, Prince always looked for the best in people who genuinely wanted to help. And he had heard about Marva. Marva, she taught in the 80s in Chicago. He heard about her, went and checked her out and everything. And oh, he wanted a teacher like Marva. So in that video, the most beautiful girl in the world, the star of that video, who sits, the only one that sits in that throne chair is Marva. And she's featured prominently in the end of the video too. And I couldn't believe it. I had so much more respect for Prince because sometimes when you're a genius, when you're great, you're hard on yourself because no one can understand you. They don't get you. How do you teach someone like that? But Marva was able to make all of her students geniuses, and that's what he loved. And he cut her off some change too to help her get herself going on because Prince didn't play. So anyway, so look, I got Atomic Habits because Marva was talking about Atomic Habits before it was cool. You see that? Atomic Habits. There's reference. I mean, what she says. Okay. So when you're building your confidence, it's almost like Atomic Habits, marrying Marva, you know, in terms of making things interesting and having high expectations. So that's going to be a video right there. So, okay, hold on. I'm getting long-winded. All right, let me look at my notes. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? All right, so what do we do with, we're finishing strong, right? So we're looking at curriculum that we didn't really finish. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe you didn't like it. For whatever reason, you didn't finish it. It's okay if you don't finish it. Here are a couple of things you can do. You can chunk it because maybe you really didn't like it. It's like, okay, well, that was a rotten tomato. And then say it was in grammar. You didn't like it. Chunk it. If you haven't already bought a replacement for grammar, now will be time to, and I said don't get into curriculum, but if you're going to get rid of some curriculum, then look for exciting, fun ways to do the grammar to close out the school year. So those could be things, and you want free, right? Okay. Unless you've already ordered curriculum for the next school year, you can pull that out and you can start on it now. Just a little preview. Just make it fun. All right. There's no need to like cram everything in. If it's something more detailed, like with writing, put that curriculum aside and make the writing fun. Choose 3 topics or subjects your child likes. Remember how I said about you got 6 weeks left, barring spring break, and then a week of all the days where you don't want to do something or something comes up, doctor's appointments, physicals, whatever. You got good 6 weeks. Choose a topic. You can take writing, for example. Okay. 3rd grade and up, maybe 4th grade and up. Now, if they're younger, do a paragraph a week, a fun paragraph. Spring is here. You got religious holidays that are here. There are so many things you can choose as a fun topic for your child to write about. They do 1 paragraph a week. Y'all remember what I did? a week is 5 days in our household. So they can literally do a strong sentence each day, and by Friday have a wonderful 5-sentence paragraph. Okay? The thing is being consistent, and the thing is getting their confidence up. Now, if your child thinks I can do 1 sentence a day, oh, can you? Okay, because it's got to be the best sentence in the whole wide world. I mean, it's got to be the best work you have ever done. Penmanship, subject verb agreements, strong adjectives and verbs, all kinds of stuff. And then this is what you can do, especially with your younger set, 3rd and below. I got something for y'all. I made this for my kids to this day. At the their folders for writing, I always have a reference sheet, and I have like all the grammar that's going to, mess you up, the beware stuff. I have all excuse me, the boring words that you never want to use in writing, like said or good, things like that. It's like a cheat sheet for writing, but it's fun. And so this would be a great time to pull out those reference sheets for your kids. As a matter of fact, I have a math one. If you go, okay, my website's not up, but I do have a math one. If you go into one of my old videos, I think I still have a link to it. I make like a math cheat sheet, and it's pretty cool. So, whatever your kid needs to refresh or they forget, they just turn to it and look, boom, got it, and they go back to their work. So for writing, I do that. And so what they can do is, okay, we need to do a live video on me teaching this. So what I like to do a calendar. So say it's 5 days, right? And I'll take a sheet of paper in big columns, big rows, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? And then I prefer like a month long, but for a week long is fine. And then you write each day what they're doing, no more than 2 sentences, right? And then you have a check mark, right? Now, as they're going through each step, because remember, writing is abstract, especially at that age. So, for instance, like the 6 traits of writing is great for the younger set. So the first day is, okay, generating ideas, right? What do you want to write about? And you know what? And you tell them it's a non-writing day. It's a thinking day. So we're going to sit down. We're going to talk. This is a good time to get to know your child better. We're going to talk about stuff that we watch, we've seen on TV or movies, or what's the playground talk? What are they talking about on the playground? Whatever. Just find out what's in your child's head. We're going to pull that information out. Okay. Now, the only writing you're going to do is just like write that down. You can write it down. Your child can write it down. Okay. But that's for Monday, right? It's a non-writing day. It's a thinking day. Then the next day, you're going to take whatever they're going to write about. How to make apple pie. I don't know. Say it's fall. How to make apple pie. All right. And we're going to look up. Now it's our research day, because we got to figure out, how do we make an apple pie? Do we have some recipe books in the house? Do we need to go online to allrecipes.com? Whatever, right? And the less writing you do, the more pre-writing you do, the more they start to get engaged, right? Because now you're building up their confidence, right? They're not stressed about trying to figure out how to get the words down and what are they going to do, because you want to build that confidence up. Now, every day at 3:00, we're gonna work on our writing, okay? And if you don't want to call it writing, you can call it your author period, your author, the author hour or whatever. You can give it a nice little name, whatever you want, okay? And then you do a little research, how to make apple pie, whatever, and then find out all the steps. Like, okay, well, we said we're only doing 1 or 2 sentences a day. But now, since your child wants to make apple pie, they probably gonna write 5 sentences. Oh, we gotta do this. Or your child can write 1 sentence. You can write 2 sentences. This is for the younger set. For the older kids, they can just go wild with it. All right. Okay. Now that we got something down on print, now we're gonna get into the real writing process and start putting it together. Right. But that's 1 week. And then next week, if they want to continue that paragraph, they can add an intro another body paragraph, whatever. If they want to do something totally different, you can do something totally different. Okay. I would recommend you choose 5 fun topics for them. And then if they want to do a different topic each week, boom, you already got those topics ready to go. If they want to, you have those 5 topics, but they decide, I like this topic so much, let's bring it into the second week. Good. And they can bring, if they want to bring it into the third week, even better. And each week that you keep going with that same topic, now you're asking for more. Okay, let's try to add 5 strong adjectives in today's paragraph. Let's try varying the length of our sentences. Give me a short sentence, give me a long sentence. So we changed what we did yesterday and changed stuff for today. So you play around with it. Okay. So that's like for writing, how to finish strong. You don't have to use the curriculum if it's not working for you. If your curriculum is working, but just things came up, look at what's left in that curriculum, right? And then decide, do I want to carry this curriculum over into the summer or into the fall? If you're okay with that, then just keep moving at your snail's pace. If you just have to have everything done in June, then look at what's fluff. There's always fluff in a textbook or workbook. Look at the fluff and look at what you can take out, but still have the meat of that curriculum. Okay. For example, say if it's writing and rhetoric. I do this all the time. Writing and rhetoric is writing, but it also has grammar. It has dictation. It's got copy work. I don't have to do all that. I just focus on the writing and knock all that stuff out. So you can take a fast food approach, the drive-through through your curriculum, and know that we're going to get through it. We're not missing out on any key concepts, and we'll be just fine. So that's one thing you can do. All right. That way you don't have this burnout of feeling like you have to do everything by this certain time or day. All right. Let's see. Yes. Oh, it's 3:30. See, I think, do I need to pick up no, I don't. Okay. Appreciate this space, and I will let her see this. Oh, good. Definitely, Shelly. Tell your daughter that we are rooting for her. Math tutor says, I say practice makes genius. Absolutely. Perfect practice makes genius, as Jimmy Johnson of the Dallas Cowboys, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, would say. Because if you practicing your jump shot, but you shoot like this, you practicing, you have a hard time making them shots, So perfect practice makes perfect. But I hear you on that one, or the genius. Book club, Marva Collins. I know we need to do Marva Collins. We did a book club on Atomic Habits, but Marva Collins, she gets right to the nut of it. And then you have the movie on top of that. So it's almost like something where we could just watch the movie and then read the book, because it's life-changing because there's the proof is in the pudding. You can see the work that she went through, and she had so much drama. She almost lost her house trying to, fund everything, friends, colleagues. I mean, she could have quit. So she definitely is a hero. Let's see. One strong sentence a day. That's a great idea. Yes, one strong sentence a day. But you got to tell them, what is a strong sentence. You got to have like at least 2 adjectives, an adverb, a prepositional phrase, or a preposition, if they understand the parts of speech. If not, now's a good time to teach them. It's never too early to teach them at least the basics of it. And here's the thing. Your kids talk like this, but they don't write like this. So they're like, 5 adjectives. What's an adverb? With all their whining, they probably said 2 adverbs and 5 adjectives. So you just gotta listen to them. Like, what? Write down what they just said. Okay, let's deconstruct what you just said. You just use these 2 adjectives. You use this adverb because you said you really don't want to do this. So that's your adverb, and then they start seeing how, oh, okay. And once that light bulb starts to click, you got them. Okay, so we talked about do the fast food approach, the drive-through for finishing up curriculum, or check the curriculum, choose 3 most interesting things to focus on to end the year, and then keep it moving. Let's see. Okay, that was my curriculum detox that I wanted to talk about. I was going to make that another video because I wanted to go into more details for how to shake things up when you're stuck in a rut, but we'll make that a little bit, we'll do that a little bit later. Um let's see. Okay, so a couple of things to do is shock your kids. Y'all having a bad day, or maybe things are just going fine, but you're in your your routine. One day, pick a day, or a morning or an afternoon, whatever, and do something totally unexpected. Maybe have a dance off or something like that, or have your kids make if they're into TikTok or IG, have them compete with each other and make a 3-minute video on some kind of dance program or whatever challenge or something like that. Just something totally different. Or you can set the scene. You can have like a little meditation time. We pull out some pillows and blankets and some nice soft light and some music, and y'all just woo-saw. Just close your eyes. You're gonna have to say this like 200 times, and just be still. Just be still, especially if you do it in the afternoon, because then you want to kind of fall asleep. But let me tell you, as adults, we love little afternoon naps. Kids, why? Just because they're not little toddlers anymore doesn't mean they don't appreciate downtime, just to be still. This is a great life skill to have your children practice on, because when they when they learn how to be still and to quiet their thoughts, that is so good for their mental health. So think of that as a character building life skill for them, okay? Take 10 minutes to do it, okay? Or less. And then get back into doing whatever else you want to do. You might find that they start to ask for that time because they need that downtime. They're bombarded with so much information that we weren't when we were growing up. And just having a 10-minute decompression time could possibly work wonders, okay? Get outside. Okay. You want to finish strong? Go grab a book and go do your work outside. Get some vitamin D. Now, for some of y'all in the northern climates where, you still got winter storms, it's still snowing, sit by the window if you can. Spring is coming. So I feel for you, our northern neighbors. I really do feel for you. If you can't get outside, do the meditation thing, right? Okay. Try to buy a plant, have a plant, at least one living plant in a room where you and the kids can be, okay? Just so there's like you see some life growing, right? Plant some seeds. Like right now, even if it's cold where you are, you can still take a paper towel, wet it, put some seeds in it, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it on top of the refrigerator, to keep it warm so it can start to sprout. Put it by a window. If you have heating pads, because you're a gardener, that's not, because the whole point is you want to create rituals, and you want to start signaling things. So when they start seeing sprouts and green, they start saying, oh, there's a change, right? So even if it still feels like winter, you can still make it feel like spring in your house. So that's just another way to like kind of stave off the burnout and to finish strong. Sometimes finishing strong is just making sure your peace of mind, you and your kids, is at a certain level. Okay. And there's nothing like seeing new life and color and all of that helps to lift your spirits and your confidence. Okay. I need to start wrapping this up. I actually have a consultation. But anyone have any questions so far? Are there ways that you guys finish strong that I haven't mentioned? Because there are so many ways you can finish your year strong. Some of you are like, girl, we're going on vacation. Peace. And you're like, it's a wrap for the school year. Whatever we didn't get to, whatever gaps we had, we'll do something in the summertime and then we'll start the school year. I've done that too. I'm like, you know what? This wasn't working. Like when I first was doing all about spelling, I was like, oh my God, this is not working. I had to put that bad boy aside, and I picked it up like almost a year later. But the whole point was during the summer, I just had them read books, and then we did grammar in the books. I would pay them. I would say, hey, 5 cents for every prepositional phrase that you see or cross out with a pencil. Okay. Which also help with their close reading. So when you can tie in other skills, learning skills, oh, it's beautiful. So, and that's really easy. Find you a book that's yours, and you can teach grammar, spelling, punctuation, writing. You can teach so much stuff from in your book. Find a book that your child likes, and then go to town. As a matter of fact, I need to do a video on how to break down a book. Not just how to read a book, but like how to break down a book, like any book. As a matter of fact, where's my other book? I have a couple of these. I don't. I put it somewhere. So I have these how to read literature like a professor, but there's also one by Mortimer. I want to say Mortimer Adler, and it's how to read a book. I actually wrote a curriculum on that for my kids, how to read a book, because you're really not taught how to read a book. You really are not taught how to read a book, and it's shameful because there is a process for how to read a book, not just literature. So hold on, how to read a book. But what was the other thing I was going to talk about? How to read a book. Oh, how to break down a book. Oh no, how to use a book to teach how to use a book, a single book, to teach everything. I'm going to be dramatic. All right. Okay. Now, I do have 2 videos where I recorded curriculum reviews for math. I didn't put those up because they were really, really, really long because I'm long-winded. I want to include everything. So I might just make that just a live and then edit that out in the future, just so you guys can start looking at some curriculum, get the ball rolling, and all of that. All right, I 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for all the well wishes. Does anyone else have anything that they do to help, wind down a homeschool? I know it's only March 31st, but it's never too early to start, especially if you see that you ready to throw in the towel. It's never too early. Even if things are going really well, you want to keep it going well, because anything can come in and wreck your plans, like just like that. So, hold on, what else do I have? Now some of these things are kind of obvious, like, the parent taking care of yourself, making sure, you get out with friends and you get to talk to adults and things like that. That's all fine and dandy. Sometimes I find that makes things worse because then they got drama, or, you start feeling bad, especially if they don't homeschool, because most of my friends now don't homeschool. So totally different world. So you have to, sometimes that reinforces your loneliness. And a lot of homeschool parents are lonely. So maybe you don't want to do that. So I say, kick it with your kids. Bake something, make something to eat. I used to do Eat Your Way Around the World with my kids, and we would go to Trader Joe's. We'll pick our countries for each week, and then we would go to Trader Joe's and we would get foods from that country. And we had other places because we're blessed to be around a lot of different cultures, but Trader Joe's always had like everything. But we would go to Indian stores. We had a couple of British stores because we have a lot of expatriates around here. We have a lot of Brazilians around here, and just buy one or two things, or make it. And then we would talk about the geography of that country, the music from that country, famous people from that country. It's really, really fun. If you wanted to enhance that, you can find great books from that country. As a matter of fact, I think that's how my kids all have read The Alchemist and the author Paulo Coelho's from Brazil. And I remember when we did do Eat Our Way Around the World with my oldest one, I remember we did the Alchemist, but I wanted to read The Alchemist because the book itself is good. But if you can find a great classic book, like if you're going to do Spain or Mexico, you got Isabel Allende, you've got Esperanza Rising, Pam Munoz. You got so many options. Go to the library, check the books out, see if there's a cheap way to make the food. Decide, what kind of slant are you going to come at this? Is it going to be history? Is it going to be geography? Is it going to be doing some grammar and spelling in the book, looking at sentence structure and tone and voice and all of that? Are you going to treat the book like a mentor book where, I need to do a video on that. Now, mentor books, usually they're like picture books, but you can take any page and make it a mentor book. And I'm the queen of that because I love to read. I take one page and I make that a 2-hour lesson. My kids are like, Mom. So anyway, give me some more questions before I get out of here. Any more questions? Homeschool burnout. What are you going to do about it? You going to get burnt up like some toast? You're going to put your little hazmat fire retardant suit on and then walk through the fire, come out the other side, and do a Kanye through the fire with the grill on and everything. What are you going to do? So you can leave that in the comment section. Think about coming on with me in the future and sharing your testimonials, your wins, all of that good stuff, because I really want to hear about it. And also I want to have some freebies to give out to you guys. So with that said, it's 3:40. We've been on for 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right, perfect. So I will see you guys next Friday, 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern time, which seems to be working out for most of you guys. And see, I think that's all I wanted to mention. If not, I'll leave something in the community tab. I love you guys. Just stay on this journey as best you can. And just remember that the grass is always greener over the septic tank. So, so what I mean by that, a lot of times you don't need to have homeschool burnout. You have homeschool burnout because you're looking over the fence thinking the grass is greener on the other side. What you're not realizing the grass is greener is because there's a big old nasty septic tank underneath that grass with the SHIT feeding the grass, and you don't want that, okay? So the grass is always greener over the septic tank. So I like to make that amendment, okay? So don't be looking over there, seeing what this person's doing. Oh my God, they've already finished this. They're already starting on grade 5 right now. You know, that's what she says. It ain't a race. It don't matter what your neighbor's doing. People in your homeschool co-op, they seem like they're far ahead. Fine. Let them be far ahead. We want them to be far ahead. It ain't going to happen in everything all day, every day. Let them have that moment. Okay? I'm always wary of parents who like to brag about stuff like that because it's all ego. Be the main ones whose kids don't like them when they're older. Or they do what is expected of them, and they're just that mouse in the hamster wheel. Okay. Give me a C student who is happy with life, in good health, got a straight head on his shoulders, and is able to go out into the world and make something of himself or herself. Okay. Let me tell you, I live around a lot of doctors and lawyers and tech people, and a lot of them are miserable. They are miserable. Their spouses are miserable. Because I used to listen to them when my kid was in public school. Miserable. It is what it is. I tend to like now I like the beach bums around here because they just buck the system. Parents live in $3-4 million homes. You go visit. Oh, we're gonna have a birthday party at my mom's house. Okay, and I see you, and you got on torn Wranglers, and you drive a 1995 Corolla, and your parent lives up the hill in that $4 million home. You were a disappointment to your parents. But out of all your siblings who went to all these fancy schools and everything, you're the happiest one out your family. Other siblings can't do anything because they tied to their jobs, can't be involved with their kids. They live in paradise. They can't enjoy paradise because they're too busy working, or they're too busy worrying about the younger, newer, prettier person coming in, because this is LA, part of LA, to take their jobs. I used to hear that all the time. Most of the moms that I met, I kid you not, they were the second wives, or they were about to not be the first wife. They were all in fear of losing that first wife status. A lot of them. That's a whole nother story. Of course, they told me all their business because they didn't think I was a threat. I'm like, okay. Because I wasn't blonde and a size 0 and had double D's and all that. Okay. You see, that's not working out for you. So Give yourself a break. Don't worry about, my child's not getting it right now. My child's struggling right now. If these women can take multiple kids, you got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5. They can take a classroom of kids and turn them around in 9 months. You can do it. And they did it with cheap or free things to help them. The biggest resource they had was them. Okay? They had to be consistent with their confidence in their student and holding on to that when the student just wasn't getting it, was getting frustrated, was being a butthole. They had to keep that demeanor the same at all times. So the child couldn't be like, okay, well, she gave up on me too, so I'll give up on myself. So just your biggest resource is going to be you being laser focused with your attitude. I have high expectations for you because you can do this. And you just have to have those blinders on. And no matter what you're seeing, you just have to convince yourself, I have high expectations, not too high. You can do this. Okay. It can happen. Go watch Marva Collins tonight on YouTube. It's free. The brother in Southern California who, he was in he worked with, he was in a Spanish school, and a school full of Latinos, and so he had language barriers. He had all kinds of things he had to deal with. I got to get that information because a lot of it was kind of scrubbed, because it worked. So think about those things, okay? If things are going well, then just slide into your home stretch. Keep everything as is, at ease. Just be fine, and then enjoy your break, and then get ready for the fall. But if everything is not how you want it, think about what's most important. Like at the beginning of the year, I talked about having your homeschool vision, short term and long term. If you didn't do it, now's the time to start thinking about developing one. I did a video where I talked about how to choose a realistic short term homeschool vision and a long term one. I think we probably need to do another video on that, an updated one. Okay, homeschool visions. Because when you have that vision, homeschool vision updated, you don't get all bent out of shape. You look and see, okay, you know what? We're just a little bit off the mark here or here. Okay, this wasn't important for us. So I don't have to worry about that. Okay? We always worry about the wrong things. Okay? We need to worry about the right things. And the right things are the core things that are going to stay with you and your child for the rest of their lives. That's what you want to focus on, because it's not just teaching them for 12 years, bye-bye, go out into the world. No, it's like, what can I implant in you that's going to stay with you? That's the only kind of implantation I want. What's going to stay in you, that's going to grow and continue to grow within you, because we're not always going to be around. So when you feel like you're a failure as a teacher, as a parent, all of that, just remember that's part of the process. You can't know the extremes until you experience the extremes. You don't know what hot is until you experience cold. You just know what hot is. And then you go to Montana in December, you don't know what cold is. You don't appreciate the heat. Vice versa. You don't know somebody's good side until you see their bad side. All right. So if you're doing that self-pity party, only do it for 5 minutes. Embrace that, and then just walk on out of it. If you got to Jedi mind trick yourself, do it. But when you do it, choose something fun to do, involve the kids, and forget about all that other stuff going on. Just reset. Just reset. And if you need to, if things are such that you just need to blow up the homeschool and stop immediately, baby, you do that. Do it. Get yourself together, sit down, and think about, okay, my child is not, doing well in these 5 subjects, and I don't know how to teach them. Okay. And be realistic with yourself. And then you figure out, how can I get the help? Is it the curriculum that I'm choosing? Is there something going on with my child that I'm not really accepting, or I'm not, I'm unsure of how to help the child? Is there some learning issues going on? Is my child's diet full of sugar and stuff? Am I shooting myself in the foot with what I'm giving my kid before I teach? It's a whole reflection. You can shut off homeschool. If I were you, okay, listen, I'm gonna end with this. Screen time is not good. We know that it's bad for your eyes, even though I give my kids blue blockers. Oh, thank you, math tutor. We all need to hear this because people be lying about stuff, making you feel bad. And that's just wrong. And the main people that are lying about stuff or fudging stuff, they're in a worse case than you. So that's why you have to guard your sanity with what you're seeing people do, unless you are there in the room with them seeing that. To me, I don't trust none of that. Unless I see your kid coming by, writing all these equations, blah, 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 blah. Number one, I don't care. But number two, people want to make themselves feel good at the expense of others. And there should be no competition there, right? But what I was going to say before I forget, what was I saying? What was I saying? I got off track. What was I saying? People lying? Was it about people lying? Okay, I think it was about people lying. That's like the excuse me. Where's my husband going? It's 4:00. My son rode his bike to school because it didn't rain today. I don't know. Wait, let me make sure I don't need to be somewhere. Hold on. It's Friday. Nope, son has karate at 5. Okay, well, maybe he's going to Costco. The lion. Okay. People, if you want to blow up your homeschool and just step away from it, it's fine. Because anything you do in that state of mind is going to be unproductive. It's going to be unhealthy. You're going to probably further, if you haven't done so already, alienate yourself from your kids, right? And the situation is just not going to be, it's going to leave a nasty taste in your mouth, and you're not going to look forward to school in the fall, okay? So if you need to blow everything up, you blow it up and you pull your kids aside and you're like, you know what? This is where you get honest with your kids like you never got honest before. Yeah, I know sometimes I didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I didn't try my best. I failed you. And there were times I was rooting for you. And there were times I just didn't know how to do this to help you. Be honest with your kids, even if they're really young. Okay. Especially if they're young. Being able to say, I didn't know. I don't know. It goes a long way. And you be honest with them and you tell them, despite all of those things that happen, all of those tears, all of the yelling and everything, we're going to make a new start. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make this homeschool coming up the best homeschool. But I need your help. You need to tell me what's working for you. If you don't like that, I want you to we're going to be partners in this. I want to know what you like, what you don't like. And we're going to figure it out because apparently what I was doing wasn't working. Be honest with your kids. And if your kids don't know, like, oh, whatever, you always say that, whatever. Then like, okay, because that's good. That's feedback. Your child's not on board yet. That's fine. Now you know how to move forward. So you're like, okay, well, my child don't really believe me because it was a really bad year. So tell your kid, thank you for sharing that. I'm a recognize your truth because that's how you feel. I'm going to accept that and recognize it and accept it. Mama's going to try better. I don't know how, but I'm going to try better. And I want to involve you because it's your life. Okay. I want to know what you think. No, you don't. You never want, every time I say something, you don't want to do this. And if that's true, you're going to have to start checking yourself on that. Okay. So that's going to be a whole nother, maybe like a summer school series where we get our mind right so we can go ahead and get credibility with our kids, but be honest with them. So you know what? Okay. We're not going to repeat this again. So we're going to just end homeschool Friday. It's going to be our last day of homeschool. Now, what we're going to do after that is I'm going to ask you to do 2 or 3 things, either in the morning or in the afternoon, however you want to do it. I need you to watch Now, say they weak in math, reading, and writing, everything. They gonna watch screen time. That's what I wanted, where I was going. Screen time. Your kids learn differently than we did, okay? I make a playlist for great movies about literature or movies about history where there's a learning component in it, right? So as a matter of fact, uh movies on, okay, say you're going to be doing American history in the fall, right? And you got that's a long swath of time for American history, so you can choose 5 movies, something on World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, um Marshall Plan. I don't know, but there's lots of great movies out that deal with wars. Okay, I'm just throwing something out. Or maybe you want to focus on the 20s. Maybe your history, early American modern history. You can do The Great Gatsby. You can do The Grapes of Wrath. Find books that have movies. Okay, and if you can, go on YouTube and find people who read the books. So if things are really bad in the homeschool and your kids don't even want to hear your voice, then they can at least listen to the audiobook while they read the book, or they can just listen to the audiobook and do a puzzle or play Legos or comb their doll's hair if they don't want to read the book, okay? Because it's summertime. But have a book and a movie, okay? So for YouTube, so make those playlists. I recommend doing things that are story based. So for math, there's lots of things based off of stories for math. I have, what's the math name? I have 2 YouTube channels. They talk about math, but it's like through stories. If you do math stories, I think it's called Math Stories. I'm not sure, but I think it's called 25 investigations into real world math or something, but there's like a YouTube video on that. Dig that up. Or if there's just certain topics that your child is weak on, say fractions, say inequalities, Google that. 6th grade inequality videos, and then look for the ones that have the most eyeballs. And hopefully if it's an animation, look for animation and start building your YouTube playlist. Okay, just maybe 5 things that they're kind of weak in. If you don't know, then start with whatever grade the grade they're currently in. Start with that last semester, just the current semester, which is now. Start with whatever the units or topics are being taught in that second semester. You might need to you can pull up, if you don't know, you can pull up 6th grade math standards, second semester, and then you can see all the topics that are typically taught there if you don't know where to go with your kid. Okay, and then find YouTube videos, fun videos, and have them watch 1 or 2 a day. Okay, Amoeba Sisters is good for science concepts. Crash Course is really good. For history, I like Real Life Lore. These are all YouTube videos, channels, excuse me. I like Steve Parker audiobooks for classics, but kind of more dystopian. The whole point is, so for the summer, after you blow up the homeschool, you still want them to kind of learn, but you want them to kind of decompress as well. So if you can find ways to teach them through stories so it doesn't seem like an ordeal, okay? Whether it's through audiobooks, YouTube, movies, if there are things going on in your community, anything where there's some kind of learning going on, get them in that. Let them know there's all kinds of ways to learn. Have them start making something. When was the last time your child made something? Okay, do a puzzle. Just getting them to be still and alone with their thoughts is huge. Don't discount that. Kids always have to be mentally stimulated all the time, all the time. Kids can't be still long enough to be alone with their thoughts, which is what they need. Okay, so they need to be still. Puzzles. Oh my gosh, we have like so many puzzles. I like Ratzenberger. I think, yeah, Ratzenberger. Good quality puzzles. Nice, great subjects. As a matter of fact, I think about like 6 or 7 of them. They're like retro vintage puzzles of like retro food, retro candy, retro whatever. Great conversation pieces to have with your child, because it's the puzzles represent things from your childhood. All kinds of stuff. You can make your own puzzles. find an image that they like, get into AI. Find images that they like, get some cardstock, have it printed on cardstock, let them cut it out and make their own puzzles. If they want to make it thicker, they can glue like 6-7 pieces of cardstock on the original image that's printed and then cut all those bad boys out. Give them something where they can work with their hands or build something. A lot of times our kids just want to create, and being able to create helps to, you know how they talk about stress crying, like babies will do stress crying. It's not bad. It's just like they need that release. A lot of times your kids need to do something totally different that's creative, like to work that brain so they can be ready to tackle things with the other side of the brain. So don't discount them if it looks like they're being idle, but if they're doing something with their hands, it's still really good for them. So don't discount that. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you can just have them get outside, weather permitting, and get them to, get some sun, just run around, break a sweat, go walk with your kids. I have the running club with my kids. We haven't done it in a while. But that's the time for us to get out there and do what we got to do. Make them a playlist of music. Okay. It's just put the homeschool off to the side and just reset. And while you're resetting, that's a good time. Watch Marva Collins, maybe read Atomic Habits or listen to the audio to kind of get your mind right. And then talk to your kids about, hey, what do some of your friends do that homeschool that you like, that they talk about? And it's not like what they're doing is better, but if there's something that resonates with your child, yeah, you want to know about it, right? You don't want to wait until they're like 21. Yeah, Miss Debbie used to always do this with her kids, and I always liked that. Well, about 15 years too late, but thank you for sharing. So there's something that your kid really enjoys or likes or admires, do some digging and find out. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here. It's 4:00. I love you all. I'll see you next week. I don't know what the topic is going to be, but it'll be something good. And let me catch up on these comments. Yes, Malibu, screen time is not good. So is having a very negative atmosphere in your homeschool. I said that. I love with that. I love with that. Screen time is not good. If you are in triage, you need to do what you need to do. Now, you have to qualify screen time, okay? Because, like it or not, screens are all around you. That's the diet, okay? What you need to do is decide the screen time that my child has, is it a good diet for them mentally, right? Okay. So if they're learning something from it, take that as a win. We're not saying sit your kid in front of mindless, dumbing down TV shows. We're talking about quality productions where your child is learning something, where your child is gaining something. Okay. And if you're worried about screen time, then the 15 other suggestions that I have, do that. Okay. But if you're in triage or if you need something else to come in to help assuage what's going on with your homeschool, then you got to bring in screen time, because you can get so much quality learning from that approach. Okay. So might not like it. That's fine. Do what works for you. But you definitely want to consider that as part of your learning. Okay. Let's see. Any more comments? That's where you stopped. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Malibu. Thank you, baby. Yeah. So I wasn't directing that at you, but there are going to be people that are going to be like, okay, screen time is bad. Yeah, we know that, but your kids still have screen time. So if they're going to have screen time, make it quality screen time. I'm talking to those people, Malibu, not you. Thank you, guys. I was behind in the comments that you caught that. Thank you. Let's see. And Katesh says, I can hear her. We do end of year lap books with awards on what they like. Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh, we haven't done a lap book in a long time. Oh my goodness. Lap books are great, especially if you do block scheduling where you do, say you have kids of different ages in your homeschool, and like for science or history or social sciences, and you want to teach them all at the same time. Lap books are great for that, especially for science, for unit studies. My lap books are old. Like I only did them in like elementary school lap books, but I can make some to show. I mean, I can show you some old ones. My kids did some really, really nice ones actually. But yeah, that's great what Katesh said. Get you a file folder, trifold, and get all the little glue, and I mean you can make it as elaborate as you want to. That's being creative right there, right? Have your child, they can make their own books. They can things that they don't think they can do or that they don't want to do. Everything's no, no, no. Once they get started, then they're a lot of times they're good. It's just a natural reaction to say no to stuff. I don't want to do that. That's silly. That's yeah, it's natural. You say, okay, you can do that, or you can go do 5 chores that you're not getting paid for. You got paid chores, you got chores you got to do. So yeah, but lap books are great. That's a great suggestion for finishing strong. Having awards. Think how I do the little wins with you? You should do that with your kids. Say, hey y'all, we're gonna have our own Oscars. Give it a cool name. You go to the dollar store, get you some little cheap, little shiny stuff and some little snacks and stuff like that. And then have your end of year awards. And if it didn't end right, have your what's that award where they it's a famous award show, but it's like for Rotten Tomatoes, so it's like the worst movie, the worst actress, something like that. But you don't have to be that negative. Just be like the the worst curriculum ever written. and then pull out that book and then give it an award. Then y'all like eat to it or something like that. You could have you know best handwriting, or the child who was able to master multiplication first or something like that. I mean, you can make so many different categories. Don't leave, make other kids feel bad, but like acknowledge the things that they've done. The child who only complained 2 times a day, give them an award. Okay, so make that fun. Make that fun. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for being with me. Please give me a like on the video. That helps with the YouTube algorithms. If you found some value in this, I would appreciate that. And then I will see you guys next Friday, 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern time. Peace. I love you guys. Oh man, my eyes are red. Oh no, I gotta stop wearing these contacts.